Hi, Seth here with Jones S Garage. Today on Jones S Garage we're going to be removing the removable hardtop and swapping out the borrowed steering column for the correct steering column and putting the cowl back on, all that sort of thing. It should be an interesting video. Okay, so here we are inside the car. We've got a clamp here. We've got a clamp here. We've got it bolted down right over here, and the same thing over on that side. The idea is to unbolt these, and when I put it in, I made sure that they were finger tight, and then just undo these clamps like this. The best non-original modification you can do if you've got a hard top like this is to put in some wing nuts, if you can get that. Makes it a lot more convenient. Just comes out like that. And now we do the other side. Well, apparently earlier I did a big no-no and I didn't actually tighten that down enough, so there wasn't any nut on it. Oh well. You learn from your mistakes. Just glad it didn't fall off while I was driving. Anyway, time to remove the hardtop. Now, of course, one of my ultimate goals is to have some sort of pulley system that would take this bad boy up and suspend it from the ceiling. But I don't have enough money right now, or quite enough know-how to figure that system out just yet. I don't even know if I'll be in this garage for more than another year. So we just do it the old-fashioned way. Brute muscle. I usually start by lifting up the front edge, and it's always a good idea to have some cloth or something, like an old rag, for the back edge of this thing to sit on so that you don't scratch up your paint. So basically just lay it across the back, try and get it underneath the hardtop, pick up the back edge of the hardtop, slip the cloth underneath it. And then we're going to lift up the hardtop like this. And it will be resting entirely on the cloth in the back at this point, so it won't scratch up the paint. Then you can just sort of come around back, pick up both sides at once, and away you go. That was simple enough. Of course, the hardest problem is figuring out a good secure place to put it. Previous episode I installed this steering column because I wanted to get somewhere and I didn't have the correct one. The correct one recently came in the mail. Of course, there is one small problem. A new steering column, and just to ensure that it was the right one, I took the liberty of attaching my steering wheel, which is the correct one for the car. Now, if you'll look at this lock assembly, you'll notice it's a little different. On the ones that I have for my car, those have hex heads. This car had breakaway hex heads as sort of a security device, so that once you install the lock, it cannot easily be removed. It's probably more original, but I'm going to have to remove it because I do not have the correct key for this. So I am going to take this back to my shop. Oh, and by the way, this does push in, so I'm sure this is probably more correct, period, but I don't have the key and I don't want to spend the money, so I'll just use this as a spare just in case my lock wears out. It's always good to have spares. So I will, Alright, so the general idea of how this is going to work, so I'm going to try and see if I can drill out these bolts, what's left of them, and I'm going to start by switching from the bit that's in here to a smaller bit and work my way up. The idea is to start small and then progressively ream out the smaller hole that you've got. don't want to clamp it directly onto the expanded steel portion, because that'll crush it. But it's fine to just have it sitting in there and have it clasped around it to hold it steady. Now, unfortunately, this particular shop is not all that well supplied with tools, so we'll have to use a screwdriver here.